This is an unreal story, and you might have missed it because it's not totally an NFL story, and the NFL really doesn't want you to hear about this. They really don't want you to hear too much about this. Lot of testimony. We talked about this story a couple times over the last week. This is a follow-up to a previous MALLER monologue. High-profile figures like Roger Goodell and Jerry Jones visiting Los Angeles to be part of this federal trial, and they were character witnesses, whatnot. But the decision has arrived, and it is an absolute you-know-what. It is a mofo of a decision. So if you didn't see this, and perhaps not, a jury in U.S. District Court ordered the NFL to pay nearly $4.8 billion in damages. B like Ben, B like billions. All of this after the ruling came down that the league had violated antitrust laws in the United States in distributing out-of-market afternoon games on Sunday. Holy Andrew Siciliano, Batman. They turned this into a premium subscription service. And let me repeat that for those of you that are in the back of the room and have spent too much time with your bong. So the jury awarded $4.7 billion in damages. That's to the residential class, the regular folk. $96 million in damages to the commercial class. But that doesn't tell the whole story. You dig a little bit deeper below the surface, and as I understand it, since the damages can be tripled under federal antitrust laws, that means that the NFL could, that's a weasel word, could end up being liable for $14.3 billion. They would have to pay out, if this thing gets tripled, $14.39 billion. Let us discuss. The question, we'll stay with the $4.8 billion, but what is your reaction to the NFL losing this over $4 billion judgment because of their finagling with the Sunday ticket? So I've got Medieval Hero, Dean Dome, and Jello. And we will combine all of these random things together, and we will be rubbernecking as we are sitting here and looking at the accident, the 16-car pileup on the side of the interstate. Because, oh, what a story this is. So, number one. Okay. All right, calm down. This is a doozy of a story. The lawsuit, that amount of money, $2.4 million. Eddie Garcia is going to get a check. Koopa Loop, who's not here, is going to get a check. And every man, woman, and child that is on the record of paying for Sunday ticket is going to get a check. 48,000 businesses also. This goes over an 11-year period from 2011 to 2022. It involves DirecTV. The NFL was found guilty of breaking the antitrust laws. But here's what they did. They sold the Sunday ticket at an inflated price. Okay, and that they also restricted the competition from offering Sunday ticket. It was only available on DirecTV, exclusivity. So when I saw the headline on this, I was half awake, half asleep, one of those deals. When you do the overnight show, it's during the day, but you're not quite, not totally awake. So I saw the headline on my phone, and I looked at another story, and then I looked back, and I said, wait, what? Wait, what is that? And I was drinking some water, and I sprayed it out of my mouth like I was in a bad comedy, like a sitcom. I was like, whoa. Even for the 800-pound gorilla, this is a massive amount of cash. The jury of men and women acting like medieval heroes, the timeless narrative of Robin Hood, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, unwashed fan base. Now, the NFL... And do we think the NFL has been doing this for years? Of course they have. The NFL has been exploiting their poor middle-class fan base, and they've amassed a great amount of power and wealth by price gouging. That's what they do. They price gouge. The food at stadiums, the ticket prices, the merchandise, it's all price gouging. They don't have to charge that much, but they say, well, the market will pay it. Okay, well, here's an example of you thought the market would pay it, and the market did pay it, but now you're getting screwed because you didn't read the antitrust laws, at least for now. So page 2, where does the NFL go after this loss in court? So I'm going to tell you where they go. They go to the Dean Dome. That's an outdated reference. Let me explain here. So the NFL is going to play the long game. And as Yogi Berra said, it ain't over till it's over. Well, you're going to run off to the Dean Dome in North Carolina. Dean Smith, he's an old college basketball coach. He's dead. But he, at North Carolina, the Tar Heels, he ran the four corners offense from time to time. Now, we are told the NFL already announced they're going to appeal the verdict. So the appeal would go up to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. That's in San Francisco. That covers the western part of the United States, the Ninth Circuit of Appeals. You know the NFL's bummed out. They wanted to take this thing to New York because they know all the judges in New York. They all hang out in the Hamptons. They couldn't do that. So fine, they have to go to San Francisco. They'll likely lose that. When that fails, the next step would be the Supreme Court of the United States, that they will go to SCOTUS. They'll go to the Supreme Court and expect, in my crystal ball, here's what I expect. I expect some political donations to pop up from Park Avenue to help pay for certain people. Maybe their kids want to go to a certain college or whatever, and give them a little money. They will play pinball, and they'll just bounce around until they get a sympathetic court that will overturn this. Now, maybe it will be the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, but they'll just keep going. They'll appeal. And the Supreme Court does not move that fast. I don't know if you know about that. The wheels of justice turn slowly, we've heard, so that would mean that this will get dragged out, and good luck. Good luck. It's going to take years. So you play the long game and wait long enough, and a lot of the people that paid for the Sunday ticket that were price gouged will be dead before they see any money. All right, final point. Will this case cause the NFL to change its ways? So the easy answer is no, because the NFL is appealing. They haven't had to pay the money out. It changes. Check back with us if the NFL does end up paying the money out. Here's why. If it's just the $4.8 billion, should the NFL end up having to pay damages, it would cost each member of the cartel. It's like a drug cartel, but in this case, a football cartel. It would cost each member of the cartel approximately $449 million. Every team would have to pay. Every single team. Now, my gut feeling says, if you do the math, and that's actually, I think, for the $14 billion, but my gut feeling says, no way, Jose. Okay, and here's why. For 40 years now, this NFL really took off in the 80s. It wasn't as popular in the 70s, but in the 80s it started taking off, and now we're almost 45 years into this thing where the NFL has continually gotten bigger and more powerful. They've grown into this mythical monster. At this point, they are like a classic sci-fi horror film from early Hollywood, The Blob, a Jell-O-like monster that eats everything in its path. And NFL people, now I've communicated with a few people that work in that world, and they've indicated to me that, A, they're not worried because they know the appeals process takes years and years and years, and B, if it's only the $4 billion, they could afford to pay that. So it's not like they got the money, and the revenues keep going up. But this will be tied up. The main point is this will be tied up in bureaucracy for years. And eventually they think they're going to be able to find a buddy judge who's a big fan of the NFL, and maybe they can, I don't know, I'm not saying they would bribe the judge, but hey, you want some tickets at the 50-yard line to the Super Bowl? You want a luxury box? You know, your kid wants to have a all-inclusive experience with the quarterback. Okay, you want to hang out with Patrick Mahomes for a day? You want to suit up for the Chiefs and have Andy Reid coach? Yeah, we can make that happen. Sure, just remember us if any case involving the NFL goes to your courtroom, just kind of remember where we're at. Will you do that for us? Oh, you will? Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. That's wonderful. Way to go. You want some NFL merch? Yeah, we'll hook you up with that. Sure, no problem.